My story today is a cautionary tale, comes out of Alabama, a great bastion for cannabis progress across our nation. And there's a pissing match now between a vape manufacturer and a distributor, Safa Goods LLC versus Perfect Wholesale LLC. And this case comes up in a dispute over apparently contract issues between these two companies. And this also comes up in a point in a case where we've filed complaints, allegations have been made, there's an answer made, there's been discovery taking place to see what's your case all about. Now they're asking the court to step in and find that there's no dispute of any material fact here, and we want a judgment in our favor. The court took a look at this and said, hang on for a second. You guys are dragging out pieces of paper called an invoice and saying this is a contract. And the other side's going, no, that's not a contract. This doesn't represent all the terms we have. They sent wrong product to us. We tried to send it back. They wouldn't accept it. The judge said, there's a whole lot of tribal issues of fact here. Take your dolls out of my courtroom and go. Okay, so we have a federal court saying there's not enough here for me to grant judgment in your favor. You have to go to trial. And if I'm reading between the lines here, this looks like it's a vape manufacturer making hemp products. That's legal in Alabama. Delta 8 might be, but you can't sell weed down there. So as I read this, I thought this is another one of those cautionary tales. If you're going to be in the cannabinoid industry, whether it's hemp, it's cannabis, or both of those, you can't be stupid from a business standpoint. I've drafted many a master contract for distributors and manufacturers. It covers ongoing sales and merchandise going back and forth between people. And an invoice just represents, today I want 100 vape pens delivered wherever at this price, and you agree to it. But you have a master contract, which outlines all your relationship, from indemnification, insurance provisions, who's responsible for moving it from the plant to the wholesale house. All sorts of things go into these master contracts. And if all you've got to go into court with is an invoice, okay, this is about as bad as a handshake, wink and nod oral contract. It's a liar's contest. And I'll just tell you right now, if you're going to do a business in a multi-billion-dollar industry and you're working like this, you got bad lawyers, or you're stupid, or both, okay? Because I have done this before, and even when you have good quality contracts, you still have pissing matches over terms of contracts and things like that. But one of the ways to fix this is to put a prevailing attorney's fees provision in these contracts. So if someone's going to come in and play this stupid kind of a game and drag you into court with this kind of nonsensical evidence, okay, and they lose, they're going to get my bill for multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars for dragging our ass into here, okay? It gives you incentive not to do this kind of stuff. And if Alabama is going to move into the real cannabis market, they better do a lot better than this, okay? Because it's just sad to see somebody in supposedly a legal industry, hopefully having attorneys helping them, to have this kind of a absence of evidence to go into court and support your position. So I'm going to throw it back at you for some discussions about what you need to do to be smart from a business standpoint and from a legal standpoint if you're going to be in these businesses. So it's back at you. What do you guys have to say?
This story sounds like it has Yarrow's name written all over it.
All I was going to say is COD to me on the 100K delivery. Think more trap, go old school, money on the barrelhead. Look, I love how our esteemed ESQ over here has pointed out the need for attorneys' provisions in contracts to be able to at least recapture the fees related to enforcing the terms with unfavorable actors. And I think that's really important. The downside is you still got to go spend that money to get that other money and all of the headaches that creates in terms of allocation of time and resources. I think that it is challenging. I think people still need to remember to do business with people that they at least think they can trust. I do think that getting paid upon delivery is a more de-risked model. And hopefully they do have some type of paper trail with their agreements, because it's not what people say, it's what's within the four corners of your document. And so if you're doing business with someone and they go yada, 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 and whoop-de-woo, say, great, let's put that on a document and throw a little ink at the bottom to make sure that we have a mutual understanding. The mother of all fuck-ups is thinking that you're on the same page with somebody if you're not. And we hear what we want to hear. We say things in ways that we think are clear, but until you migrate that onto a document, and everybody agrees that the words that are on that page reflect both people's understanding, the chances that these things are going to happen is pretty high.
If it ain't in writing, it does not exist.
It's a liar's contest then.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Now, I don't mind trying a liar's contest, but I ain't going to give you any chances of success, because then it just becomes a Pier 6 brawl. Everybody's a liar, and you waste a lot of money, and then you don't have attorney's fees to claw back. Mm-hmm. So, I guess my point is, be smart about this. It isn't like it's rocket science to even find template contracts that outline a bunch of terms that are helpful, and you fill in the blanks. It's better than nothing. But this kind of stuff is the Lawyers Full Employment Act. I'm going to tell you right now, because this is what we charge money for. My time
Dale,
and my experience to fix your fuck up.
Dale, I got a question for you since you bring that up. How many paralegals has ChatGPT put out of business?
Not yet.
Oh, it's not just paralegals. It's going to be knucklehead junior associates. I met so many mindless motherfuckers practicing law. It's like, this thing is faster than you. It does better research. It does better writing. Go drive Uber, dude, because you ain't long for this profession.
You got to make sure you still proofread that shit, because you're gonna end up like Michael Cohen.
Try to use.
Yeah, that's the thing. I would never want to go to court with a ChatGPT contract. No matter what that thing can spit out quick, like I type my name in and it can't even get the right person, and it directs me to a female professor in a market I don't live in. So I'm worried about the people that think that they're going to be able to replace their legal bill with a ChatGPT subscription. So yeah, it's a good place to mock up something, but we still need these trained people who have studied the words and the impact and the arrangement of and the context of words and the enforceability of our agreements.
Right. I think there was a ruling, I believe it was last week, that said that they are going forward and allowing defendants to use AI for their closing arguments and for their representation and shit like that. However, the two big cases that I saw that were affected, Michael Cohen trying to go against Trump, lost, and then Praz from the Fugees, whose lawyer actually used ChatGPT in his closing statements, and there were lots of mistakes in that. So make sure you guys.
It's a mess. It's a mess. If you don't take the time, and this is what we deal in our firm, because we do throw some stuff into AI to ask them to do some research and come back. If you don't read that carefully, okay, go through it and then check the citations, because that's what gets you in trouble. There was a couple of knuckleheads that went into a federal court back east, and they threw an AI brief out, and the clerks look at it and go, you guys have shitty citations. These have all been overruled. What are you doing here? They got caught. That's the problem you have. When you walk into court, I'm an officer of the court. If I'm telling you this case is up to date, it's because my law clerk has gone to Westlaw and checked it before I walked in the courtroom, because they have it on their desk. Mm-hmm. That's where you lose credibility with judges. And I'm saying it's going to help us, because I have paralegals and associates in the firm. And, AI is, for some of them, they're better than the people we work with, but we still have to double check.
Mm-hmm. I think where we are right now, it's a good start, maybe like a first draft, but y'all got to check that work, man. Y'all going to get in trouble real quick.
Mm-hmm.